Hey, what's up, guys? This is Danny from We the Kings, and you're listening to Collision Radio.
Hi.
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Hello?
Hello? Hi, how's it going?
I'm good. Is that Danny?
This is Danny, yeah, sorry. I'm practicing my Spanish. I have a Venezuelan girlfriend, and she's encouraging me to be bilingual. I didn't mean to practice on you. How's everybody doing?
It's early in the morning here.
Oh, well, good morning. I didn't mean to start today out with a terrible joke, but there it is.
Thank you. I'm Kat, by the way.
Hi, I'm Danny. Nice to meet you over the phone.
Yeah. So you're actually packing your bags from that. I'm going to assume you're in a cold part. You're not. You're probably in California. You're probably warm. But you're coming to our beautiful summer over here in Australia in just a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I'm excited. Actually, so I'm born and raised and still live in Florida, where this winter was the first time since 1988 that it snowed in this state. The first time since 1988.
Wow.
So suffices to say, it's been a very cold winter. And from what I hear, you guys are a little bit over the summer over there. It's a little bit hot as far as records go.
Yeah.
But we are going to get off the plane with sunscreens on our noses and beach balls and just be ready to hit the beaches.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, I'm down in Victoria, and actually we haven't been experiencing the heat wave as such. We've had hot days, but not like that.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, then, all the same, I think we'll probably still show up in our goofy swim trunks.
Yeah. And you can hang around Melbourne a bit longer and enjoy the weather.
There you go. My favorite city is Brisbane. For whatever reason, I've just had a great time there, and I can't wait to go back. But Victoria is definitely top, easily one of my favorite cities there.
Awesome.
That area.
How many times have you guys actually been to Australia?
I believe twice. I could be corrected on 3, but I believe it's in twice. But whatever the number is, it's not enough with the amount of love we get from Australia and the amazing times we have there. And I'm not pandering. We have an amazing time in Australia every time we go there. I'm sad to say it's either 2 or 3 times.
Well, it's never too late to ramp it up in the future anyway.
There you go. And what better way than to celebrate the 10 years anniversary of our first album.
Yeah, well, speaking of that and the travelling, you guys, you met in high school, and, well, 3 of you are still there, but did you actually start the band in high school?
Yes. As a little unknown fact, Hunter, who is our guitar player, and I went to the same elementary school. So that's like, when you're 10 and 11 years old. I had a rat tail, like a long piece of hair coming down to the back of my head back then. But we've known each other for a long time, and we started the band in high school, and then kind of got very serious about it after high school because we knew that this is just the only thing that makes us truly, truly happy, and we had to give it a real shot, and we got lucky.
Awesome. Well, with playing drums and the rat tail, were you from a musical family? How did you start playing drums?
So I was in my high school drum line, which is just, it's a very different vibe from the drum kit, if you will. But I always wanted to make the transition because I love listening to bands like Blink-182 and Jimmy Eat World. And really wanted to kind of chase that dream. I never thought it was possible, but it was always an idea and a dream of mine. But I asked my mom for a drum set for one Christmas. She surprised me with a drum kit that had duct tape on it and I think one cymbal. And I wasn't allowed to play after she got home from work. But you better believe that I was playing every second that I could and, picking up everything that I could along the way.
Awesome. And, I mean, what better story to have than a broken drum kit to start on?
Oh, yeah. I mean, if my son, who is 5 months old, you might be able to hear him in the background, wants to play drums, I think it is a rite of passage to get him a terrible drum set, because it's not the kit that makes the drummer. You have to make anything sound great.
Yeah.
The drummer who makes the drummer.
Yeah, well, actually, you mentioned your favourite bands, very obviously punk bands. What sort of different influences are you guys bringing into this? Because your music, it does vary in that you have sort of dance and pop and rock, and I'm not sure I've noticed a lot of punk in there, but I'm going to have another listen. Is there punk influences?
Maybe not oi, oi, oi punk style per se in the traditional sense, but we definitely did love like the fast, heavy rock, of like Blink-182 and the likes. And I think what the first album sort of showcased and really meant to us was that just kind of coming together and playing music like that was always about just like hanging out, good times, and, the people that are around you listening to it, having good times with you, because we all dabbled in different genres. I, as a drummer, always loved metal music, because I think with metal, with those bands, the drummer is essentially the lead singer. You know, you just have a guy screaming off to the side, but the drummer is really showcasing like all the chops there.
Yeah. No,
that's an opinion, by the way.
I don't know.
We all dabble in different genres, but when it comes to our style of music and the style of music that influenced us, it's more of like what it means, you know? And we always hear about that with people who are at our shows, like how they met the love of their life and, you know, eventually got married, or they met their best friend in line, and every year they, you know, come to see one of our shows. It's kind of like an all-around thing with the style of music that we play. Definitely not trying to prove that we're punk or this or that, but our fans understand exactly what I mean.
Well, I think every song you put out shows that you're not the same as the one before. I don't know if it'd make you happy, but the interview that will be played straight after yours is Scott from Unwritten Law.
Oh, wow. I'd like to think that I'm a tough act to follow, but I'm not. If I were you, I'd be way more excited for that one instead of some drummer.
Yeah. Well, I am an old Unwritten Law fan myself, and Blink-182 and all those ones you mentioned, but you are We the Kings. And
phenomenal band. I mean, you can tell him that we were listening to Unwritten Law in high school. You know, I mean, I think the Christmas that I got my drum set in 2003, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, Unwritten Law was like, you had to know those songs. I mean, they were just truly a band you couldn't miss as far as like playing in a genre that we were aiming for. So please tell him that we all say hello.
Yeah, and they're celebrating 20 years of the self-titled album there. So you're celebrating an anniversary at the same year as they are and touring the same country. And, well, did you actually, when you guys started in high school and that, did you ever think you would be travelling the world like this and so successful and, like you said, influencing people's memories?
Oh, of course not. Of course not. I think, you'd have to have some kind of ego to sort of know that and be telling everybody around you in high school, you know. They'd be like, all right, that's enough of that. But it's always a dream and something you strive for, and every decision you make based on how you spend your time and, you know, where you go, it's definitely influenced by the idea of that is a very real possibility. So I think when we first decided to roll the giant pair of dice, I was in a community college in some business school, something I hated, on a scholarship. And then our first tour, we had no fans, no money. We decided to just drop everything. I lost my scholarships to go on the road and play in front of like 10 to 15 people, city to city. But to me, it kind of wasn't even a question, you know? And I was lucky enough to have a family that supported me, whether or not that was to sort of have me learn my own mistakes by falling flat on my face. But it truly was support, you know, if that was what I wanted to do, to go do it. But yeah, I think if you really want something and you think it's a possibility in the back of your head, you will make the decisions and spend your time appropriately to make it happen. Yeah,
and it's kind of like every time you have a broken drum kit moment in life, you're stepping up to a new level in music.
Wow, that's an interesting way to think about it.
Yeah.
I like that. What's going through my head is how quickly can I pick up a drumstick without fucking up the entire song? But from here on out, I will definitely think of you in that statement.
Well, next time you're in a situation that seems like you shouldn't be there, you can think, hey, this may be my next broken drum kit, and who knows what's coming.
There you go. It's kind of like, do you know the concept of like having a black belt in Kung Fu? Do you know where that originated?
No, I don't.
Well, everyone used to get just a white belt. There were no colors. You would just get one belt for your entire career. Mm-hmm. And the more you trained, the dirtier that belt would get. And you would know the true masters and the people who were very well trained and skilled because their white belts had become completely tattered and almost black.
Wow.
So that's kind of like what I understand where the black belt came from. So that would tie into your idea of the broken drumstick. So I think maybe I should just hang on to every broken drumstick and carry them around in a bucket, and that'll show talent level to everybody that walks by me.
Well, I'll give you a heads up. I collect drumsticks, so you're going to have to spare one for me.
Oh, well, there you go. You must be very talented if you have a big collection.
Oh, no, I don't play drums. I like drummers.
I know, that was a bad joke. I'm sorry.
And I actually don't have that big a collection either. But you guys, you are coming here and you're actually going to New Zealand first. Have you been to New Zealand before?
We have. We've been to New Zealand once before. I believe it was the last time we were in Australia. We had a phenomenal time. Definitely a little bit of a different vibe than Australia, but it's it's fun in its own right. But I think truly, and I mean this in no offense to New Zealand, but our heart is in Australia with the amount of times we've had success there, the amount of times we played shows there. I mean, we have a song that's platinum in Australia that's not even platinum in the States. There's not really any other country like that. We have a special place in our hearts for Australia.
Oh, awesome. That's great to hear. Well, you do only have one show in New Zealand, and that's on January 31st. But then the 1st of February, you are in Brisbane, and the 2nd, you're in Sydney. The 3rd, you are down here in Melbourne. And the 4th, you got 2 shows in Melbourne.
Mm-hmm.
Has that been like a second one added, or do you always just do really well in Melbourne? Is one in all ages? I haven't got the exact details here. You've got more shows added too.
Sure, in the case of that, it's either one all ages, one drinking 18 and above. But my ego chooses to believe that the first one sold out in 2 seconds, so they had to add a second one.
Well, maybe you want to switch your ego off for a second, because the first one is an all ages show and the second one is at 170 Russell. And then you have...
What's that? You're breaking up. Next question. You're breaking up.
You're also going to Adelaide on the 7th of February and Perth on the 8th of February. You've got a pretty busy time then, a lot of time off. Is there something you want to do on this trip in Australia, or is there something you like to do every time you come here?
Well, we always love the vibe there. And, as I mentioned before, coming from the winter to the summer, we'll probably hit the beach. What city did you say the day off that you're referring to?
You've got 2 or 3 days off after your last Melbourne show. Lucky you.
Oh, my goodness. And what a city. Yeah. I love Melbourne. My personal favorite, and no offense to anybody, is Brisbane. For some reason, I always have a hell of a time in Brisbane every time I'm there. But Melbourne is easily an honorable mention favorite. It's just got a great sort of big city in Australia feel. Like Sydney is Sydney. It's great. But much like New York City isn't quite America once you get into it, I just think Sydney isn't quite Australia once you get into it. And no disrespect to it. It's a beautiful city. But I think like kind of Brisbane and Melbourne kind of gives you more of the feel of like the people, the vibe, the culture. Obviously stepping away from all the shopping centers and downtown areas. It's really fun. I love those cities so much. Yeah,
well, Sydney may have melted away by the time you get here anyway. But
you think so?
Well, they're the ones getting hit by the heat wave. Melbourne listeners will take the Brisbane thing as a challenge, and they will make sure this time that Melbourne becomes your favourite city.
Oh, I love that. Well, it's the people of Melbourne. I really love kind of like the whole mix and fun spirit that you have just taking a walk. I always make it a point to walk around for 1 or 2 hours, and it's really fun.
Awesome. Is there something you want to say to your Aussie fans to get them to come out and see you guys?
Yes. I'm so sorry it took us this long to get back. No one is more heartbroken than we are. We can't wait to experience the beautiful time that it is to be in Australia. And I know it sounds like a cliche, like I'm just filling in the blank with Australia, England, Scotland, but I truly mean it. There is no place else in the world like Australia for We the Kings, and we can't wait to get there.
Awesome. And I will tell people they can find you at wethekingsmusic.com. On Facebook you are
That's
We
correct.
The Kings. And this has been actually like a really great conversation and interview, I should say, but it has been like the philosophical part of it. I don't think I've ever gotten that philosophical with someone in an interview before, and it's been fascinating to have a chat to you. I think you've got another interview coming up after me, though, don't you?
I'm sure I do. I've lost count at this point, but hey, I haven't lost out of the fact that this was a great conversation. I do agree. Sorry to make terrible jokes to start your day, but
that's
I'm
okay.
sure it's going to get a lot better.
It's been awesome. Thank you so very much. And you will be.
You're very welcome.
You'll be in Australia from the 1st, and that's by Select Touring. So go to selecttouring.com/We the Kings, and you can find where the tickets are for that. And we really look forward to you 10 years of the self-titled album, which was one of your biggest selling, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Awesome. Thank you.
I hope you have a great time and, pack a lot of bathers.
Can't wait to be there. We'll see all you guys there.
Awesome. Thanks. Bye.
Take care. Bye.